Hello, hello, everyone. It's Annalisa with Inside Real Estate.
Hey there, Annalisa. It's
Hello.
Christian here.
And Kelly's here hanging out. Awesome.
Very cool.
It would be helpful if I had my headphone off of mute.
Well, I mean, Who
needs those?
Who needs those? I'm just here as a fly on the wall.
Are we live yet, or I don't know how this is working?
Yeah, technically we are live, but I don't know if you can see there's 0 attendees right now. This is something that's going to change over time, hopefully.
Oh yeah, of course it will. Yeah.
But I'm not sure if Ryan went over everything with you, but usually the way we lead this is that we have like a topic, just in general, like landing pages to smart campaigns or whatever, and we highlight like a key feature with it. Just go over, like walk them through the process, and then following that, we'll open up questions to whoever is here. And the idea of what he wants me to get out of this is like some timestamps for key points.
Sure.
If somebody asks like an important question or if cool features
Right.
gone over, I'm going to timestamp it via the chat.
Good.
Just put it in there. And then following all of that, once we have these timestamps and key features highlighted, I will be posting these to our YouTube and Facebook pages and like just highlighting
Awesome.
these awesome tools. So
that's so great, Christian. Congrats.
Yeah.
That's good.
Thanks. So with that said, though, I mean, do you need any guidance? Do you want to just take it away? Or?
I guess I'm old hat now, right? So I guess whoever's watching now, hello, everyone. Thanks for being here. This is Annalisa. I've been with Inside Real Estate for about 5-ish years, and I've got also Christian Demain, who is a great trainer within our training team, and also Kelly Bojarski, just kind of hanging out on the low with any information to add in as she might. So today, I figured we would look at a few things that affect change on our websites with kvCORE. And this is basically just looking at adding in perhaps some things from the marketplace with a chat feature or something to help people heat map specific shopping or school distances and so forth, as well as just normal listing information within your dashboard that you can affect change on today very easily. So the first thing I want to speak to is when you open up your website, you're going to click on your name on the upper right, and then you're going to click right next to that little globe that,
Sorry, Annalisa, can you share your screen real quick?
Oh, that would probably help, even though I just said, yep, I'm not new. Apparently today I am. So this is where you go in and add that information. It looks like we do have an attendee now. So hi, Emilio. Thank you so much for being here today. If you have any questions about kvCORE, you are welcome to chat them in. If it's slow, maybe we'll unmute you, or if we can, maybe not. Yeah. And you'll be able to ask your questions. So I'm going to go ahead and jump into the website and show you a couple of things of which you can affect change on. So what I was doing is I was clicking on my name on the upper right, then on my website URL right here where it says annalisadolin.official IRE demo account. So that'll have your name or your URL there. Now, once this opens up, I'm going to go ahead and scoot my page to the bottom. So look away if you get vertigo. So we're just going to zip it on down to the bottom. And you'll see I have every area we cover and its mother and probably its cousins listed here for my California office, right? Which is a lot of areas. And you might run into the same thing yourself with areas you cover if you have your site reflecting your entire brokerage areas we cover. You as an agent have the ability to finesse this and edit this so it more covers the areas you specifically cover or areas that you specifically cover and are okay wanting to refer things out to, just depending on how you run your business. So let's say you look at your list and you're like, 29 Palms or Avon Park or Balsam Grove, I don't know where this place is. I don't need this on my areas we cover for my site. You can go right into your dashboard. And if you hover over Website Manager on the left, and then Website Content, this is going to open up information on service areas and SEO. So when you go to this little index here on the left towards the bottom, you'll click on service areas and SEO, and you'll either see a blank list here, which is fine. It gives you the ability to set it up custom or add everything, or you can add everything or add them in one by one. So I'm just going to remove this so it might look how it looks when you get here initially. So I just removed all of those listings from my site, and if I go here and update this, it should update pretty quickly here. I've got nothing under areas we cover, so everything under the kitchen sink is gone now. If I look at this list now, and look at service areas and SEO, you see it's blank. So this is where I can start building in my custom list. So if I was like, okay, I know I handle San Diego, I'll jump down and put in San Diego, the city. And when you're typing these in, keep in mind that it's going to say, well, do you want the area, the neighborhood, the country estates neighborhood? Do you want the city itself? So be mindful in how you're adding these in. So if I add in San Diego, maybe Carlsbad. Again, being mindful of the areas. You know, as you update these yourself on your own dashboard, it's going to reflect those areas we cover. So if I update this again, you're going to see these two areas land here now. Now, the cool thing about this is as you are coaching your contacts and using your site and giving them the tools to empower themselves in using your site, you can tell them, hey, to learn more about that area, click on the name below at the bottom of my site. Well, they can scroll on down, click on Carlsbad for this instance, and the system will always pull for you directly from the MLS the most popular listing in Carlsbad, the most expensive, least expensive, and it'll do that for each of those areas you have in there as a service area and SEO. And when you add in tidbits such as this, by having these land on your site, you're lending your website to be found in search engines. So whenever we create a link and put it out there online for people to click on and come back to the site, you know, that adds up to people being able to, in the future, find you easier and easier on your social media. So when we create these, we're creating these unique links right up here for Carlsbad that is tied directly to me, the agent. So you can see it has my name, my brokerage company, and then we're looking at Carlsbad distinctly. When we're looking at all of this information, it's also going to tell us how many total listings are there. Within that, how many are new or reduced. And when people click on these, it leads them further in to looking at listings that you have to offer through your MLS and your site, which is pretty groovy. So as we go back to this again, it'll also show you a town versus county stat, a little bit of a sneak peek into a real estate market health. We had that real exciting time there in 2021 for a while. And then we have our map of where it's located. And then at the bottom, you may find areas and neighborhoods within the area that you're currently looking at. So this is going to reflect based on how that listing agent entered in their specific listing. And it's also kind of handy, like, oh, hey, you know what? Grandma or Aunt Lucy lives in Brentwood Heights or Bristol Cove. I can click on that and maybe see if I can get a home near them to help them or be near family or friends. So again, this is another way to keep people engaged and clicking through. Now, how can you improve your SEO or search engine optimization with these areas right here within your service areas? Really easily done is you can go into where it says keywords, comma separated, and you can type in something like Carlsbad or your area. So it'd be Carlsbad homes for sale. And then make sure you get those little spaces and spelling works, but today my fingers are saying no, they don't. So you can put Carlsbad homes for sale or Carlsbad land, Carlsbad condos. And you can put in information like this, and this is what lends itself to you being found more easily on search engines. Then you just click save. And now you've spent about 30 seconds investing in yourself and investing in your website and gaining traffic on search engines. So this is something I would suggest that you take a look at. In the information that I'll be sharing with Christian, hopefully he can get this into the notes, but I have a little folder that I'm going to share with everyone on my little SEO tidbits. And I'm going to share information with you on keywords. So there are different keyword tools you can use. Keywords Everywhere is really helpful. But basically, when you install this, you can put in the area and it actually tells you what keywords are people using the most right now in your area. And then you can add those in here as well. So it's a real handy tool.
Annalisa, I think I got to stop you right there because that's worth the price of admission right there.
Yes.
That is pretty cool because those search engine keywords are truly how people find their way over to your website that you may never even have imagined.
It's like a breadcrumb really cool tool years ago.
Yeah. No, that's cute. Yeah. And I know I'm supposed to be keeping my mouth shut on this one, but man, I'm excited about that.
Yeah. Now there is another keyword tool that I use. It's free. The name of it's a little questionable, but it does work very well. But basically, all you would have to do is put in the area. So I could put in Carlsbad real estate. And then I can click hit keywords, and it's going to tell me everything people are looking for.
I feel like I need to step in and say neither of these sites are endorsed by Inside Real Estate.
They are a third party, and you take what you can get for free, right? But this is very handy because it'll also say, okay, people are using real estate trends, prices, Redfin, agents. So you can look at this and be like, all right, well, what could I use in here that applies to me? So you could use Real Estate Outlook, real estate agents, real estate trends, market. These are all things you could pick up and add into your site very, very easily to help gain that traction with search engine optimization.
I want to add something to this too, Annalisa.
Yeah.
With the keywords, if you know the area, right? You've been around the block. This is your home turf.
Mm-hmm.
Use the nicknames for the city names.
Yes.
Carlsbad right there. It's C-bad to me. C as the letter.
You could put in C-bad.
Yep.
Homes.
Yep, exactly that. Or like Oceanside for me, or San Diego, SD. I always refer to SD or San Diego as SD.
Yeah,
it could just be that simple. It's honestly keywords that are obviously triggered and result in searches, but what happens
familiarity
when the locals?
Of the area, right? Yeah, I know. It's kind of like here in Vancouver, Washington. We're also known as Vansterdam.
Yeah,
what are you gonna do?
Yeah, or the big one, the Big Apple, right? Everyone knows that's New York City. So
yeah, that's an excellent point. I really love that you brought that up. The other thing you can do on these pages where it says plain text, you can add in descriptive information. So I'm just going to type that, add in descriptive. So when you add this in here and click save, and you go back to your site, I'm going to go ahead and refresh this. It's going to add in some information for you right here at the top. You see where it says add in descriptive? So you can add in information about Carlsbad from your perspective as a realtor, as a person who lives in the community, as a community expert. Also, if you've invested in yourself and you've created videos about specific areas, or if you're looking to think about getting into videos, a real easy way to do that is to create a quick video about Carlsbad real estate. You can be like, hey, thanks for visiting my Carlsbad real estate page. You can drop it here right in the top. And you can point down saying, hey, don't forget to check out the most popular, most expensive, least expensive. Scroll down, check out the listing summary, and just engage with people from here. And it's a nice foundation of them getting to know you, how you sound, how you communicate, and a really good way of introducing yourself. So if you have a video you want to drop here, I'm just going to go to YouTube real quick and just grab one as an example. Let's just pretend this is my Carlsbad welcome. You just grab the link. You're going to click the embed link here, these little greater than and less than icon, right? You'll click copy over here on the bottom right. Then on your dashboard, you'll just slap that information right in there. Just paste it on in. So it's going to be this iframe you're going to paste in, and you're going to click save. Now, if we refresh this, you have the ability of adding in descriptive elements and a welcome video or information about the area. So this is super handy. It might even be something where if you're like, I am not ready for video, maybe your local chamber of commerce has free assets for you that you can link here about the area. You know, that could be a way you could network with your chamber in offering information out. But you have all sorts of resources readily available to you out there. Are there any other questions on SEO out there? We good?
I just want to ask, did you explain the entire definition of SEO there?
Search engine optimization. Yeah, that would be your long-term goal to gain traction and searchability on your website. So SEO, if you're unfamiliar to it, SEO, when you're like going to Google and you're doing a search, right? I'm just going to do inside real estate. And what's going to happen is SEO, of course, when you're looking online, people can buy ad space, right? But your SEO, your search engine optimization, starts kicking in when you start to see like it's not paid, it's not an ad. And what you're going to do is every link you create out of kvCORE, every meta tag or keyword description you add to something is going to lend itself to your keyword marketing. Your keyword marketing is your short-term goal that's kind of like a sprint basis every time you create a link and share it that lends itself to your long-term search engine optimization, if that makes sense. So you've got your little sprints of information going out there. You've got all the things you can tag on to your links to build into that marketing, but that all ultimately leads to people finding you online on your search engine optimization. Do you want me to add anything there, Christian?
Yes.
Yeah, go for it.
It doesn't happen overnight.
No, yeah, it's a long-term marathon. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why I'm like, it's sprint versus marathon. You either got to limber up or you got to run.
Yeah, so SEO is something that's very valuable to, I think, any business in general, let alone just a real estate business and the individual. But what I will say is it is something that you do see results with. If you put in the work, the time, the effort, creating the links, creating the traffic to your website, it shows results. It's one of those things that it's not immediate, it's not overnight, but 5, 6 months, even a year from now, you're going to start seeing it come in with all these leads and all this traffic, and all of a sudden you're like, huh. And then you make a search for like the city of Carlsbad, and all of a sudden your name is right there, Annalisa. It's on the front page. It'll happen like that too. It's absolutely crazy how wild SEO can affect your business.
Yeah, and it's important to kind of liken it to, you know, when you have a new lead land, well, you're generally looking at 6 months to a year for something to move realistically in real estate. So, you know, you kind of have to think of your SEO as that long-term relationship building with the internet.
I like to think of it as my internet popularity rating.
There you go. That's even better. We need to look at a little meter. Oh my goodness. All right. Now, the other thing I wanted to make sure we touch on today also is in regards to listings, because this is a huge one. I think a lot of people maybe don't realize when they first get access to kvCORE, and it's something you can update very, very quickly. So it's what type of listings are landing on my system? How do I want my listings to look when people come to my site, etc. So we're going to go into your your website manager here on the left-hand side of kvCORE. And one thing about this, if you look at this and you're like, I don't want to see just icons over here, just click this little hamburger guy here on the top left, and it expands your menu out. And then you can just click Web and IDX, Website Settings. So we're going to go into the settings here. And then once we're in settings, we're going to click Listings, and it's going to pop us to the very bottom of this list. Now, this list is unique to me and the MLS database of which I am connected via my account. So yours might look a little different than mine, just based on that alone. But what you can do here is really important because it gives you the ability to say, actually, no, I select initially when you first get your access, it's going to have all of these checked off. So before you do anything, everything under the sun is going to be on your site, but you can also say, actually, on my website, I don't want commercial or mobiles or fractional to show up. I really don't want business ops or contingent or pending. So you can actually finesse these to show the types of listings you want to have on your site, and then click Save to update that.
Annalisa, real quick question and maybe an update for those people since we're on this section. Can you explain how this affects on the search alerts as well?
Yes, so sometimes when you are doing a search, like say we're going to do a search here for Carlsbad or for San Diego County or what have you. We'll just put San Diego County in. So it's going to say there's 5,503 listings in San Diego County. However, because I am omitting commercial, mobiles, fractional, business, pending, contingent, it's not removing those until I actually commit to the search. So it's going to have a little bit different of a total listing for me just due to the fact that I have gone in here to my listings and removed these listings to show up. So my ultimate result is going to show just multifamily town, townhouse, income villa, farm and ranch, not the contingent, commercial, mobile, etc.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but also when you set up a search alert for somebody, a listing alert,
yes,
those are no longer options for you to choose from either if you uncheck those boxes.
They shouldn't be, no. And when you're going into a search alert, like if I jump into one here, we'll look at Michaela here. If you go into their alerts, either here on the top left of the dashboard or over here on the towards the bottom right, you can actually put in the area, of course, and then you can choose the listing type to show up, and actually it does show them all. Yeah, it's what it's doing, so I don't know. But then you can say I only want single family to show up, or townhouses or farm and so forth, and be more pinpoint on this. All right, now going back to Web and IDX and website settings, and then listings, we've taken a look at the types served. So make sure and check that today. That'll be like my little double dog dare for you. Jump into Web and IDX, website settings, listings, and check your types served. Once you've clicked or unchecked, just click Save, and that updates it. Now the next thing we're going to do is scoot down here to default sort and default listing display. So currently mine is set up to show prices high to low and a map view. If we go to the site, that basically means when people do a search on my site, they're going to see the map view here, and it's going to sort high to low. You can also have this go as a grid view by default, which gives you three across and infinite listings down. You can also go with this as a list view, where it has the image here to the left and information to the right, and then they just filter down the page. So you have the ability to affect change on this very, very easily. And then you can also say, well, I want it to sort by high to low, low to high, bed, bath, footage, acreage, reductions, days on site, etc. But to affect change on these, you'll go Web and IDX, website settings, listings, and then you've got your default sort. You just choose the one you want. And then you can update it here. So if I change this from grid and days on website, when I update this, it's going to change that viewpoint. It should at least. Oh, I have to start over. But basically, that's what it's going to do. Yeah, reset it here. So now I have the ability to update this very, very easily anytime. So if I want to go back to map, high to low, I can click save, and it's done. The other thing you can do really easily here right below this is really groovy. It's all about extra search options. So when we're looking at the site, more filters. All of these things are built in for you, whether it's location, mins and maxes, bed and bath. People can unclick these little tiles to choose specific listing types. They can also put in their square footage, acreage, years built, amenities. All of these are built in for you. Now, these amenities, elevator, and fencing here are all filters I'm pulling directly from my MLS right here. So if I add in like association fee includes and click save, and then I refresh this screen, we're going to see that land on that filter. So now you can see amenities, association fees, elevator, fencing, and it's by alpha. So people can actually come in here and say, oh, you know what? I love it if we had a heated pool in this place or an exercise room. They can check these off. They can also look at the association fees. You know, what does it include? Does it include cable or a clubhouse? You know, does it include hot water, electricity? They can also look at an elevator, yes or no. Maybe they need to have it for accessibility. They can also look at fencing. Do we need to have fencing? Do I have a dog where I'm going to be moving in? Do I need to have is there a fence associated with this place? Goat type. There is no fence that's goat proof. Let me just tell you that from experience. But you can put in the filter here, and then it's going to show you those results. And I have to put in an area still. So let me just put in San Diego County just to see what we might get. But this is showing me there are 202 results that have an elevator. And if you've got a really great budget, you can get your own place that has it in La Jolla. But this is a really neat way where you can go in here and add in filters directly from your MLS so your contacts can use it when they're on your site. Now, you can also include these when you are setting up a listing alert. So if we go into a contact, we'll just go right back into Michaela here. Let's say we're setting up Michaela's listing alerts. And she mentions, I need to have this type of amenity or this, this thing to be added. So we can go in here, we can fill in all the details and so forth. And where it says keywords, that is where we can type in like accessibility. And when we choose accessibility here, then the system will pull up the sub-filters for your MLS. So do they need to have the ramp, doors, electrical and environmental controls? These might be important things to make sure you add to your site as just something that's there anyway, all the time. Because then it gives people who need, ADA access the ability to look on your site, and you can also build it into their alert. So these are really handy things for you to be mindful of as you're setting up alerts and your searches. And saying, hey, do I need to add it one by one, or can I just read the entire merge list? It does need to be one by one. Sorry. It's fun times though, Anne, right? Yeah. So you just have to go back and keep adding them in until you have that list done, sure. But these are super helpful just to kind of land in there and, pepper, so you're speaking to your entire community, which is really nice. Now, one last thing I want to speak to when it comes to your site, also with your SEO area pages, I'm going to go back to the main page, is when we're looking at these down at the bottom, you'll have your Carlsbad, your San Diego, your list of the areas we cover. Now, when we click on this and we look at the URL, we know this one's uniquely for that specific area. One little Easter egg you can use here is you can actually place your cursor in the browser at the very end and just backspace and get rid of that town. And then put in a zip code. So, Christian, what's a zip code down there in Carlsbad or San Diego?
92056.
Okay, so you can put in your zip code and just hit enter, and the system's going to build that same type of page, but for a zip code specifically. And then it creates a specific link for that zip code. So this is a really quick way that you can showcase some information as well. And this could be something where you could pull this and copy it, like copy the whole works, and share it to your Facebook discussion page or a timeline or YouTube, or not YouTube, but LinkedIn, Twitter, what have you, and invite people back to look at properties in that zip code. This could be something as simple as your property search of the day. and then just pop your link in there. Spelling and punctuation, of course, is key, which my fingers are not wanting to do today. But then once you see this information land here, you can get rid of the link, post it, and in seconds, you have created a free organic way to send people to your website to check out properties. So when they click on this, it sends them right to your website to view that information. Now, this isn't particularly a lead gen landing page, much like a squeeze page or a landing page, but it is a little yellow brick road bringing people on back to your website, building up your searchability, and the way people will be using your site to find you online. So it's just a real handy way to get information out there quickly. Now, Krishna, did you want to add anything?
You know, in terms of what you've been talking about, not too much, but we had an interesting question coming from Anne about the hashtags.
Ooh, let's take a look.
And how they can affect the leads.
Oh, so, I love hashtags. They're so good.
Yeah. She kind of had a misfortune of doing something where she added a hashtag to a lead, and it started off a smart campaign, which she wanted, but then she merged that hashtag. Okay.
Oh.
And yeah, you can already see where I'm going with this.
Yeah.
And the unfortunate thing is because the old hashtag was associated with that smart campaign, and she merged it into a new one, that smart campaign removed itself from a bunch of leads.
Yep.
So maybe you could just show her right now how you can add a hashtag in mass to a group of contacts, because I'm sure a lot of people would want to know that.
Yeah, so let's say you wanted to identify all of your new and active sellers in your database, or it could be anything you want to use in your filter. So let's go into our filter here, and let's say we want to identify all of our new and active leads that have a contact detail of being a seller. And then maybe you want to create a dialer list. You're going to say, I want to make sure they have a phone number. So you can use any type of combination of any of these toggles and choices to create a custom filter for your database, which I love.
Yeah. This is the cool thing too, is like the amount of possibilities
you can
do with this. It's literally infinite. It is literally infinite. And
yeah, it's your Dairy Queen Blizzard option. There's no like end of the combos.
Yeah, and let me just point Anne in the direction of what she's looking for in this area. And you're going to want to filter out for just those leads with the new merged hashtag that you created. Other than that, you don't need to apply any other filters. You don't have to be as detailed as Annalisa here.
Yeah.
Just go ahead and look for those contacts that have that merged hashtag, and then you'll apply the filter. That's all you need to do. Annalisa's just going all hands out. She doesn't want to, she wants to get like a very specific list. She's going to try and create a hashtag for these leads. But once you apply that filter, go ahead and show her how she can add a hashtag in mass there, Annalisa.
Yeah, so I'm just going to say, let's just do all of our new and active leads that have the hashtag San Antonio on them or Las Vegas. So I'm just going to choose that, pretending it's the tag that she did, that she set up. So we're going to say, this is the tag. So we're going to do everything for Las Vegas. So we're going to scroll down, and we're going to click Apply Filter. So now the system is going to bring up a list, or a person, I guess, on this one. But what you would do is on that list, you would choose all up here, or you would choose one at a time. And then you could go to More Actions, Add Hashtag, and you can apply this hashtag blanket to multiple contacts. So I could call this like, let's see what else I've got in here. So I could say I want to add this to my Pinnacle property group, or whatever new tag you created to, attach to someone. And then I could just click Update Tag, and it's going to apply that tag to this person. So it kind of went off the screen here, but if we click on this person, we'll see now they got Las Vegas, Core Messenger Bot, and Pinnacle properties attached.
There you go.
Now, Annalisa, to that question that Anne originally had, because it was attached to a hashtag that triggered a smart campaign, what will happen if she adds back in that original hashtag that triggers the smart campaign?
She will need to actually physically connect the campaign, because the campaigns are only going, well, it depends on how the campaign's set up, but if it's a campaign that triggers based on a new lead coming into the system with this tag associated with it, If you only add the hashtag at this time, it's not going to recognize it because it's not a brand new lead.
That's true. That's true. But if the campaign is solely based off the tag, not the lead status or anything like that, couldn't it be just added based off of that there?
Yes, but I just want to make sure we make the differentiation.
Okay.
Yeah. So then you can also go over here, like if you say like this is somebody manually entered in with a manual tag, you would also manually add the campaign right here.
Which you can also do in bulk.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. So much like adding a mass hashtag, you can go more actions and then add campaign right here.
And if she adds them back to the original campaign they were on, then what happens?
Well, it's going to start over on the date it'll start over.
That's what I was trying to get at. Thank you.
Oh, well, I didn't know that. Sorry.
No. I wanted you to explain it piece by piece because I thought every step along the way was really important. Thank you. You answered it perfectly.
No, I appreciate that. I'm like, oh gosh, what did I do?
No, that's perfect. And did we answer your question? I'm hoping.
Hopefully so. Let's see here. Yes, thank you. Perfect. Okay. And in a general, so do we need clarification on what a hashtag can do and how you can pivot things off of a hashtag? Or was just like
do we have all day for that? I'm just wondering.
I mean, don't get me started. Don't get me started. But there's a lot it can do. But maybe we can leave that for the rest of the week too for the other trainers, of course. Now, there were two items I did want to speak to on kind of zhuzhing up your website, kind of bringing in a little more interaction and communication. So this is the regular site that comes static with your kvCORE, and your chat normally lands over here on the bottom left-hand side. And when people go into your search, of course, I have mine set up default as map. They can jump into the filters. They can, put in specific areas. They can draw a specific area if they go to the left-hand side and kind of be like, okay, I need to be inside the 5 up over to here and, Death Valley and up to Sacramento. That's my spot. They can create specific things they want to see, but they can also go to your site if you opt in for a couple of marketplace options. I'm going to show you a couple of examples here with josephmacy.com. With this, we actually have our core messenger bot built in over here on the right-hand side of the experience. And the reason I love this is because it actually helps you pre-qualify your contacts as they're landing on your dashboard. And this little bot is designed to lead people down either a buyer or a selling path. So if they put in get my home value, it's going to show them your information, all of your contact information. Then it's going to say, all right, well, let's get started. Can we ask you a few questions? What is your address? What is your city? What is your state? What's your zip code? When are you starting to look for a home? What's your price range? Are you pre-qualified? And as you fill out this information, it's going to actually feed information back into kvCORE. It's going to capture in all of these notes that are added and drop them into kvCORE. It's also automatically going to set up your buyers with a listing alert and a market report and give them a link to click in the chat, directing them to your site to see results. If it's a seller, it's going to set them up for a market report and a simple CMA. So you have the ability to make that in-house appointment and put all of that into your dashboard too. So all of it's readily available for you to act on, which is really neat. And we're also developing a recruiting one here. Now, the other neat aspect is local logic. When people are looking at your site, you'll see where it says schools and lifestyle here on the upper left of the map. This is a heat map for local logic. So basically, the greener the map, the more viable it is for the thing you're looking for. So I can actually click on schools up here and say, nope, I don't care about schools. Or yeah, I do care about seeing schools. And I want to say, I want to see public and private schools. I want to see elementary and secondary. And the system is going to tell me where those schools are in relation to the listings out there. I can also click lifestyle and say, I want to make sure this is transit friendly. Can I walk to get to the transit? Is it pedestrian friendly? Is it good with grocery stores or elementary schools, high schools? What about nightlife? Or, do I actually want to have a quiet neighborhood? So again, orange is no match. The greener the green, the best match. So after you get these in place, like if you add in restaurants, coffee shops, shopping, you can layer these in and move your zoom out of the way and then minimize these. And you'll see where those green areas are, like these green belts where things are most viable for listings with those types of characteristics. And then they can click in. There's like 26 listings in here. And then they'll see where the school is in location. And then there's 2 listings here. Then you've got your schools, high school, so you have the ability to kind of zoom in and see where all of these things are in location to the schools and shopping, which is pretty neat. But local logic is really nifty to have an add-on. It's something I would really heartily encourage you to consider. If you want to learn more about it, you can go into Marketplace here on the left-hand side of kvCORE. And then you just go over here to the keyword where it says search Marketplace and type in local. And then it says the power of location intelligence to attract home buyers. But this is a really budget-friendly add-on. When you click add, you just click select domain, you choose your domain. So I'm an admin, so I have to be very careful on who I'm going to add it to. I'm going to choose my own name, add to kvCORE. And this is where you'll see final information on billing and so forth. It's about $15 a month, recurring 6-month initial commitment. But I think this is a really handy thing to add to your site, especially now that we have so many people working remote and moving to quieter areas. So this is a real thoughtful way to put your community information out there so people can actually be like, yeah, I want to see, what's happening out there. What's the quiet area? Is it near the nightlife? Is it quiet? Is it near daycare, etc.? So it's a real handy tool to use. Anything else to add there, Kelly or Christian?
No, I actually haven't seen this tool in a while, and it looks like it's
so
been,
cool.
Yeah, it's been updated quite a bit.
So
yeah.
I love the use case scenarios that you gave. And so if it were me and I were a brand new agent, my license, the ink is still drying on my license. And I was setting up my kvCORE to try and attract consumers to come to it. What would you say would be the best type of maybe video that I could give to share with some of my my friends, my family that really exemplifies some of the cool key things they can be doing as consumers through the client portal on my website?
Yeah, I think what you could do, and also like to do video, it doesn't always mean you're in front of the camera. It means you could be behind the camera narrating very pleasantly as we show somebody information, right? Which is basically what Kelly's speaking to here. So you could use a program like Zoom or Screencast-O-Matic. There's a lot of screen recorders out there. But basically what I might do is I might say, all right, well, let's take a look at Rockland County, New York. And within Rockland County, I only want to do condos, multifamily, and nothing else. I'm going to remove rentals, commercial, cooperatives. So I'm going to pull up just condos, single family, and multifamily. And then I'm just going to do one big list first. So this is what I'm going to do to prepare for that video. I'm going to find the area that I want to speak to. Now, I can go in here and I can say, all right, how do I want to present this to people? And actually, Rockland might not be a good example because it's giving me a lot of yellow. Let's move this way, maybe. And this is also a good thing to do before you make a video because it gives you the ability to be like, well, maybe we'll look more in Brooklyn.
Or yeah, Botanical Gardens looks pretty good too.
Yes. So, you can kind of look at this and be like, okay, who am I going to target the best with this? Because you can also, toggle things on and off with lifestyle too to change that heat map. So all I had to do was remove high schools and it made it a little greener. But you can play around with this and you can say, hey, when you come to my site, when you look at your site, here's how you use my filters. So you can show them how to use the filters, put in their mins and maxes, choose things, and apply the filter. Then you can say, once you have that figured, you can actually go over to Local Logic and you can build in school information. You can click here and show them, hey, do you want to include, public and private schools, or just public, or just private, or just elementary? You have the ability to toggle those on or off. Within lifestyle, what's important to you and where you're living? Does it need to be transit friendly, pedestrian friendly, car friendly? Does it need to be near a grocery store or daycare, restaurants, coffee shops, shopping? So you can tell them to play around with that. And then also character, do I want it quiet or do I need it vibrant? But you can lead them through these tools. And then the neat thing here is you can also tell them to click within these bubbles, and then they can see the results within, of course. But then they can also, while they're here, see this free market report that they can sign up for once a month. So if they click free market report, you can also tell your contacts, I'm going to register myself here, I guess, to sign up to have a free market report and empower themselves to sign up for this information. Then in turn, the system will automatically send them that market report every 28 days, and you'll be told that it's been sent. And then you can always update that market report to send every 7, 14, 21, or 28 days. But you can tell them to come here, learn more about the area, use the Local Logic tool on there, and I keep losing my site. There we go. They can use Local Logic, they can get into the market reports, and they can sign up for this and get this at a frequency of once a month, sent automatically to them. Click subscribe now, and then they're going to start receiving it. And it'll always pull the most expensive, popular listings, some sold data, recent listings, average sold price, days on market, off market, new to market, price, reduction, square footage, all of that right here. Now, if you want to set this up for someone physically on your dashboard, you'll open up a contact, and these are done one by one. There is not an en masse for this unless you create a squeeze page with a market report. But like if we go into Michaela here, on this right-hand side, you can always give yourself the eyeball on what type of communication do I not have firing out to this person right now. So we can see right now we don't have alerts, campaigns, market reports, nothing is going out to this person. So I could go into a market report, maybe I speak with her and she's like, you know what, we're looking in this area. I'd love to have information at X amount. So you could put in the area. And then you can say, I want this to go every X days to this person. Add, and now the system will automate this every 21 days for that area to Michaela. So you can either direct your contacts to your website to sign up for a market report, and you can set them up for them physically on your dashboard. All right, and that's really all I have to cover today. So hopefully that was a helpful session. Anything you guys want to add in there, Kelly, Christian?
I'm going to shoot you an awesome job there, Annalisa. I found out some stuff today too. So
well,
I'm happy to learn things.
You're welcome.
Awesome. So it is an open Q&A, and we do have a couple people still that are here. So Emilio, Anne, do you have any questions for us that didn't get answered on this open Q&A session?
Yeah, and I just unmuted them too if you guys want to unmute and ask your question.
Hi, Anne here. So with this report that you're sending out to the people, can you show me what it looks like when they receive it in their inbox? And can you set up a custom teaser or a message at the top of it when it's received from you to make it more personal?
What it will do, so let's take a look at Michaela here. So let me refresh to see if it launched it quite yet. Basically, it'll be an email like it would be for your listing alerts,
Mhm.
and then it's going to lead them right to this link. So it's going to look just like this, but then let me see if I can find one that actually shows.
You can actually send it from right in the profile there, Annalisa. You can send it right away now.
Oh, good, because that's one thing. Like sometimes we push out these tiny things, and I'm like, oh, can we? Great.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, there you go. Send now. Yeah. Now, as far as the customization for like the preview or like the subject line, I don't believe you can change that right now.
No, yeah, it's automated just like the listing alert one. And this is what their email will look like. So it'll be like, market report for, whoopsie doodles, market report for San Bernardino, and the date. It'll say their name. Here's a local update for this area. And then it'll talk about the homes for sale and so forth, and the average price, and et cetera. And then they can view all listings, view report, and it'll actually take them to the site. And now it's going to have me log in because I'm on another website. Oh, 1 second here. But it's going to load me up for that San Bernardino market report when we open this up. So this is exactly what they'll be seeing.
Great.
And do you work with a lot of sellers, Ann?
Yes, I'm basically a listing agent. Yes.
Yeah, I am too. And I love the market reports because right from the very beginning, even when I'm, with my farm, for those folks that I know that are kind of long-term incubators, they're going to take a while. I like to send those market reports about every 21 or 28 days for the area of which their current house is in, just so that they can keep an eye on what's going on. And then every time, I usually do it probably every 3 or 4 months, I'll, as I update those market reports, because you can change the default to go out 7, 14, 21, or 28 days. I will put a follow-up task reminder to myself every time I update the market report frequency that reminds me to call and just check in with them to let them know that, hey, I decided to send you some market reports, every 2 weeks now because the market is really starting to pick up. Kind of like build up that sense of urgency, which has been very effective in this market. So just a little tip on how I use those market reports, but I love them for my sellers.
Great. Thank you. Good.
So then you would just jump in and create your task, add task, and then it'll come up for you on your task for that day on your dashboard and on the contact itself. So you can see my upcoming task is coming up. Then I can give it the snooze or finish it off, right? One thing you can do to identify folks in your system that don't have communications rolling, which I think everyone should have these set up on their entire database, is they need to go into filters. And usually I leave this open. When I leave none of these checked, it pulls from the entire database, or I can be specific and pull a status. But basically, I want to go right into behavior. Does not have market reports set up, does not have alerts, does not have a campaign. So I'm going to go into my filter, behavior, has no market reports, and then apply filter. And then I always save the filter, and then I just call it needs market reports. This is a reminder to me like, hey, get on it and get these set up, right? You can save the filter. And then if you roll back up to the top where the little cog is, you can see I have all sorts of filters set up. But if you scroll to the bottom, that's where it's going to land at first, and then it alphabetizes. But I can click this on, save, and then this runs by alpha across the top. If I scroll over by clicking that little arrow, you can see I have all sorts of these lists here. But this is where I can say, hey, get those market reports set up. And when I log in anytime to my dashboard, I can just click on this, and it brings up this list alone. And this is my hit list. So everyone that doesn't have a market report falls onto this. And then as I add a market report to people, they fall off.
They become nice working lists. They're priority. I call them priority lists. Those are things that you need to do every day that are high priority, and you don't want people slipping through the cracks. So having those kind of exception reporting for your leads that might be slipping through the cracks, such as no market reports, no listing alerts, those are people that they're not giving little breadcrumbs back to your website or reasons to stay connected with you. So they could fall off the face of the earth.
Yeah, and it's just a super handy way to keep track of things, especially if you're your own person running your own business. I mean, these little guys are super handy shortcuts. So really, you can create one of these for anything that makes sense to you that you want to track. So even if you wanted to create a dialer list, you could go in here and say, all right, well, I want to find all of my new active or client and contract sellers. So I can go into my contact details, sellers. And then I can go down into this and say, I want to make sure they have a phone number because I'm going to call them. Apply filter. And now I have built a dialer list that I can either save or work off of right now. I can just click into the first one, new call, call now, and the system will call you and attempt to connect you with the contact. You note your call, what you've discussed, contacted. Then you click next here at the top right, and you move on to the next person. So it's a real handy way to create a list, a touch base list for basically anything you want to keep track of.
Cool.
So hopefully that helped.
Lovely. Thank you.
You're welcome. All right. Well, I think that does it on my side of things. Anything you want to add in, Kelly, Christian, before we close?
Nope. Emilio, how about you? You're quiet out there. Do you have any questions for us today? Want to make sure we didn't miss out. Well, we do hold these open Q&As every day, so I think they're almost every day. Christian, they're what, Monday through Thursday?
Monday through Thursday, yeah.
So you can pop into what, the training calendar here on the dashboard, or via the support here at the bottom left. You can go into webinar schedule, and it'll take you right to the time zone. You choose your corresponding time zone. So I'm in Pacific. So we just got done with our Next Level Strategies Q&A, and we are here again with Christian and another trainer guest Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursday. And all of these courses every day you see here are free of charge for you to access anytime. And Amelia's like, nope, I got no questions. This was great. Thank you so much for being here. And I hope you all have a great rest of the day.
Have a good day, everyone.
Thank
Bye,
you.
everybody.
Bye.